Cookin. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we're going to be making country chicken with cream biscuits, pink salad, and spicy apple cake with vanilla butter frosting. So I'm going to get going on the chicken. I have a whole chicken that I have cut up, and I've got water boiling here, so we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt to the water before we get started. This is a new recipe that I just started making, and I had trouble convincing my husband that he would enjoy boiled chicken. And you know, as you well know, you always boil your chicken when you're making your soup or whatever. Anyway, this is a kind of an old-fashioned country chicken with a cream gravy, and it's kind of been modified a little bit, and I think you're gonna like it. So to the water, we're going to add a couple of stalks of celery, a quarter, about a medium onion quartered, and we're going to just let that cook, and we'll get started on the cake. This is a spicy apple cake. If you have some apples left over, use those. Otherwise, you want to use baking apple. So we're going to start out with 3 eggs. And I'm going to beat those up. Okay. Now, what I did before we started here was finely chopped 2 apples, and I put a 1/3 cup of boiling water over them to kind of soften them up a little bit. And it kind of pre-cooks them just a little bit. And to that I'm going to add the sugar. It's 1 1/4 cup. Now this is one of those cakes where you don't have to do all the dry ingredients and then combine them with the wet ingredients. You just put everything else in then. So we have a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of cloves, teaspoon of salt, uh, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of vanilla. You can use imitation or pure vanilla. I'm using pure. And this is one of those recipes where you can use a dark vanilla. Sometimes I like to use clear vanilla so it doesn't color your food, but where you're using a spicy cake, then the dark vanilla is fine. I'm going to add those eggs back in. 1/2 cup of oil. 2 cups of flour. And a cup of nuts. Now this would be optional if you don't want to add the nuts. Sometimes people don't like the texture of nuts with their cake. But I'm using a cup of walnuts. remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'd be happy to help you with a copy. I'm going to beat this for about 2 minutes, so we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg, 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
Okay, we've got the cake all beaten up. I've got a pan that I've greased and floured. We'll get this going. This is one of those desserts when you make that the house smells so good with all the spices in it. They say if you're ever going to put your house up for sale and you have people coming to look at it, that you should put something like this in the oven so when they walk in then it kind of smells like home. Okay, we're going to put this in the oven. It's going to bake for 45 to 50 minutes at 350. I've got the oven preheated, so get that going. Chicken is cooking, so we're going to work on the salad while we're waiting. This is a salad that when you have kind of a country dish or something like that, you really don't feel like having lettuce salad with it. So, and this is a salad that you could make for holiday meals, for when you're serving ham or turkey. So, and it's so easy because you pretty much just dump everything together and stir it. So, but we're going to start out. Let me get a mixing bowl and combine the sweetened condensed milk, a can of that, and you can use low fat if you want or non-fat. I'm using the full fat. It makes a pretty salad too for when you have a meal that doesn't have a whole lot of color. Combine that with an 8 ounce of Cool Whip. I've kind of whipped it up a little bit. Okay, then you just pour all the rest of the ingredients in. We have a can of cherry pie filling. Find another spatula in here. Let's work. This is a can of mandarin oranges that I have drained. 8 ounces of crushed pineapple that I have drained also. Okay, now we're going to add a cup of flaked coconut. I'm starting to run out of room, so I think I'm going to just toss it into the bowl that I'm going to serve it in. We have 2 cups of mini marshmallows, and we have a half cup of nuts. This again would be optional. I've used walnuts. If you'd rather not have nuts in the salad, then don't add them, but okay. There we go. We're going to put it in the refrigerator and let it chill. Normally you would want this to chill several hours, about 4 hours. You can even make it up the night before. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. We'll be right back, and then we'll start on the cream biscuits.
Get 3 months free access on all lines, plus a new 4G smartphone for only $4.99 a month. 2 great offers with Valley Cellular. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this great deal.
Okay, we're going to work on the cream biscuits. These are as easy as can be. You use 2 cups of Bisquick and 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Just grab a spatula here. You incorporate them together. Now with this chicken dish, I actually made mashed potatoes with it when I made it the first time, but you really don't need to, because these biscuits give you plenty of filling and plenty of carbs, and so we'll get it on the board here. Start working with it. There's something about me and growing up, there's something about mashed potatoes with when you make a gravy, so feel free to go ahead and do that if you decide to try this recipe. So I floured my board, and we're going to knead it a little bit. Okay, we're going to roll it out to about 1/2 inch thick. And you can make your biscuits on a cookie sheet if you like, or you can do something fun. It's kind of fun to walk over with if you've got an old cast iron skillet, walk over and set it on the table, and set your kettle on the table, and it's kind of a fun old country feel to the meal. Okay, then you want to take each one of your biscuits and dip it in a 1/4 cup of, I've got a 1/4 cup of butter melted here. Just dip it in and put them in the pan or on your baking sheet. got a little left over, I'll probably just put it on a small baking sheet here. But this is what it looks like. And then these will bake in the oven for only about 12 to 15 minutes at 450. So I'll just kind of roll out the last of this. I do this too with my cutout cookies. I always keep rolling and keep rolling till you get to the last bit. Okay, I'm going to just set these over here while we wait for the cake to be done. We're going to get going on the frosting. I'm going to take just a minute to clean up. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, give the girls a call. They'd be happy to get you a copy. We'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. High definition and caller ID is now free with all TV packages. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to find out more.
Okay, it's time to add our carrots to the chicken. I've got 5 carrots that I've peeled and cut into chunks. If they're fat, I've halved them. Otherwise, they're about like this. We're going to throw those in on top of the chicken. And then we're going to make the frosting. I have 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar. And I have 1/3 cup of melted butter. 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. Here I'm using a clear vanilla because I don't want it to darken the frosting. So it's 1.5 teaspoons. And then I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of milk, and we'll see how it goes, and we may add a little more. I always sift my powdered sugar. I don't have luck with nice smooth frosting if I don't sift it, so it always seems to work a little better for me. I'm going to add another tablespoon of milk. Just a little more. The reason I use a measuring spoon when I'm adding milk to my frosting is if you just dump and you don't measure, all of a sudden you could get too much and then there you're stuck. So then you have to add more powdered sugar, you have to add more butter, you've got to add everything. So if you do it gradually, just you're going to just save yourself a lot of headache. This a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit more. I just want it to be just a little bit more spreadable. Perfect. Okay. Okay, cake is ready. I'm going to get that out. We'll let that cool so we can frost it, and then we're going to start working on the chicken. So what I'm going to do first is remove the chicken into a dish here. The celery you discard. So I'll get that out of there. Okay. I'm going to take the carrots out, put those on the side too. You want to be careful not to put the carrots in too soon because then they'll get mushy. I save the onions, put those in the side. Okay, so now we're going to strain the broth. Okay, so now what you want to do is we're going to skim the fat off the top. And I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of the fat and use it for the gravy. If I have a lot of time, I like to put it in the refrigerator and let the fat kind of harden on the top. It's much easier to remove, but we're gonna do it this way for the essence of time. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my saucepan. And then we're going to reserve 2 cups of this for the gravy. Okay, now that the cake is out of the oven, we're going to raise the temperature to 450. And then as soon as the oven is hot, we'll put our biscuits in. What I'm gonna do to keep the chicken warm while we're working is I'm gonna dump the rest of this broth back in here, and I'm gonna put the chicken back in just to keep it warm. Now what you can do too at this time, if you want to bone the chicken and cut it into chunks, you can do that, and it makes it easier to serve for some people. Or you can leave the pieces whole and serve it that way, but I'm going to do this for now. I cooked the back and the neck in there with it for the flavor in the broth, but I'm not going to serve those. Okay, we'll get going on the gravy. I'm going to get this heating. And I'm going to get cleaned up real quick. I'm going to get my flour to add to the gravy. We'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
All right, the oven's hot. I'm going to put the biscuits in. Okay, and my fourth cup of chicken fat is heated up. So to that I'm going to add 3/4 cup of flour. Nylon whisk here. Okay, to that I'm going to add the 2 cups of chicken broth. You want to break that apart so that you don't have lumps if you can help it. And let that cook a minute, and I'm going to start to bone the chicken. That way you get the fat out of there too. And you can actually, if you want to cut down on the fat in this recipe, you can remove the fat from the chicken before you put it in the pot. I usually leave it on because I just feel like it gives the broth a little more flavor. Okay, now to this I'm going to add 2 cups of half and half. Let that heat up a little bit there. Gotta make sure you don't get any bones in there. If it's cool enough to handle with your hands, that's usually the best way of making sure that you don't get a bone in there. And then when you get to the breasts, I like to cut them into some chunks. going to let this come just to a boil, and then we're going to stir in the 2 beaten egg yolks. And when you add egg yolks to a gravy, it'll make your texture much more silky and velvety. So, and it actually adds even a little luster to it. So. It's hot. Go back to the gravy here. Okay, so now what we want to do is take a little bit of this gravy, add it to the eggs, cook the eggs up a little bit, and then we'll pour it back into the kettle. Okay, well that's cooking, then I want to add some salt and pepper. To this I would add about, depending on how salty you like things, I would put probably a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a quarter of salt. And about 3/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, well that's cooking up. We'll take a quick break and I'll finish boning the chicken. We'll be ready to put it all together and be right back.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, we're going to pull the biscuits out of the oven. And we'll assemble the food. You can just put I just put the carrots just right over the top, like that. Pour the gravy over the top there. We're going to quick frost the cake. Just a little bit of milk since it kind of sat, it stiffened up a little. Making a lot of noise. always the hardest one to get out, is the first one. Okay, so what we're going to do is, with a biscuit, is slice it open. Don't even really have to slice. There we go. There's plenty of gravy so that if you did want to make some mashed potatoes, you can do that. I'll just serve the salad on the side. And there you have it. We've got our country chicken with our cream biscuits, our pink salad, and our spicy apple cake with vanilla butter frosting. Thanks for joining us on this segment of Country Cookin'. We hope you'll join us next time.